Hi, I'm Aisha.
Hey, I'm Jasmine.
What's up? It's 1228.
And we're IJT Productions.
Welcome back, everyone. Back to a new video. This is IJT Productions. And today we have a special guest with us today to discuss a very interesting topic about marriage from a male's perspective. So please introduce yourself, because I can't do it like you can. So introduce yourself to
All right, great, wonderful. So hello, you all. My name is Robert Daniel McCall. I am married. June 11 makes it 5 years, going on 5 years of marriage with one daughter. Thank you so much. With one daughter, and I love talking about marriage, man, because it's something that that I didn't see myself doing in the first place. So coming 5 years of it, I would like to share my wisdom and growth in that process. So thank you for having me.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
The streets be talking sometimes, and the streets, is there like a podcast or something like that? Marriage with the McCalls or something like that? Is that a thing? Or
It
the
wasn't.
street? I don't know. The streets be saying stuff.
So it was a thing. My wife and I used to do like marriage with the McCalls, like on social media via Facebook Live, and this was before my baby was born. We would do marriage with the McCalls, and basically sharing wisdom, and we had different topics, talk about different things, and just really getting involved with marriage. And we just shared like wisdom, not even just on marriages, but on relationships, looking to marry, engaged people, on just boyfriend and girlfriends. So we had those type of people that was engaged to us, and we're just looking to share wisdom, the things that we grab from our relationships and our marriages, and looking at other people's marriages, and just going by what we learning. And so in that wisdom, we try to share parts. So I think we are going to get back to that. But that's something that we want to do in the near future, possibly. I mean, it's been a talk. So and this is like a start of it. So I'm very grateful that we was able to do that for a season, and then it's coming back soon.
That's a beautiful thing. So
Yeah.
normally I'll always throw my partners on the spot. So it's a new month. I'm turning a new leaf. So I'm gonna politely ask, ladies, do you have a question for our guest Rob? Would you like to ask him anything?
It's so funny because, like I don't have a lot of male friends, but the male friends that I do have, they're not married, like they want to wait till later. It's just not an interest right now. Well, except for, well, he's different, but but can you explain like why did you chose to get married, especially, at your age, and, if you could share about that?
Yeah. So at first, I didn't want to get married at all. I wrestled with or seeing not a lot of successful marriages, especially where I grew up at in Brownsville, Brooklyn, especially in my own family. Like we didn't have that. I didn't have the image around me, so it was kind of hard to grasp marriage. It's like, what is that? And being submissive and all the biblical things that you have to do in marriage. And so I told, funny thing is I told her, my wife, that before we got married, I wasn't ever gonna get married, and I wasn't gonna have a child when I'm 50 years old.
Wow, look how that
Yeah.
changed. Look at God. Like, look at God. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna get married at the time, 50 years old. I mean, wasn't gonna have no marriage, and wasn't gonna get a child until age of 50. I'm now turning 33 on April 12th, going into 5 years of marriage. with a 2-year-old. So somebody told me, it's like, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans, right? So and that became more so. And then now on top of that, it's like the reason why is because I was wrestling with a lot. Not only that I didn't see an image, I was wrestling with a lot of things in my past and demons that chased me and chased my bloodline. You know what I mean? So I vowed to when we started getting like really exclusive, I vowed to her, it's like I can't do this halfway. I can't do this. If I'm gonna do it, then I'm gonna show my generation, I'm gonna show the people that I see every day, including my family, that this could work. And 5 years in now, it's been a struggle, but it's been a blessing at the same time because I have known her since I was in the elementary school. And it was, the crazy thing is that we never dated. We never talked. We shared the same class. We shared the same memories of different classmates. Never dated, never talked.
Definitely was a classmate. Yep.
Well,
so it wasn't until like after college to when we started dating. And I remember how it happened is that how we started dating. On Facebook, they were doing something like the question on the numbers game, I believe. And I think I asked, I think you put a number in your inbox and you answer the question on your timeline. And I think that happened. And then my wife, she texted me at the time and she said, "Where would you take me on your first date?" So wait, hold on, what? But I was like, all right, cool. So then I inboxed her, we started talking, carrying on. But she was already in the situation. She was already in something. I wouldn't even call it a situation because it wasn't even, she was in something that had to be that boss and bring her out of that. So, that's how it happened.
Wait, hold on. I got to ask a question. I wouldn't be me if I didn't ask. So wait, so you saying she slid in your DM, number one?
Not technically, yeah, but yeah. You can say that.
No, this is different. Kinda. This is different. Time out because this is Facebook. That's the Facebook wall.
Oh,
the Facebook wall.
Oh, she's slid in the wall.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And the next question is like, was you like a low key homewrecker though? Like, is that like?
I think if she, let me tell it. I took her away from a person that I didn't approve of. Like I basically told her, listen, why you with him? You should be with the dude. Like you should be with me.
Ooh, talk that brand talk.
So that's how that happened. It was like, but she, like I said, she was already in something that she was ready to let go. I was just that person that happened to say, you know what? Let me be that guy for you.
Okay.
So, listen.
To be that guy.
Sometimes you gotta go for yours.
Yeah.
Right? Like sometimes you gotta step up to the plate and go for yours.
How crazy this is, and I always say that, like, for people that know us, like this our story is like a fairy tale because I know all her brothers. I know I used to work with her mom doing summer youth. Her mother was my supervisor. And when she found out that she was dating, like I was dating her daughter, it was like, oh my God, Robert? Yeah, sure, of course.
So you got the blessing. So you got the blessing. So you got so it was all, so you was meant to do that because you ended up getting a blessing.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you this question, like, being that you married, you got a kid now, you settled down, beautiful thing. Would you consider yourself washed up? Would you? Like, and when I say washed up, like I'm being funny, but when I say washed up, meaning
I know what you mean.
You
honestly,
let him explain himself, please.
No, listen. I can clean this up real good.
Because I'm washed up. I'm washed up already. So
before I got married, before I dated, before we was dating, I was pretty much the guy that I was a bachelor, and I was into music like heavy. Like I used to be going in and out of not the United States, but in and out of the states and going here drumming, going there drumming, and doing this and being in somebody's studio and being in somebody's studio session and just doing live shows. So I was like pretty heavy in that area. When it got serious enough for me to say, you know what, I can't do that stuff no more, then that's why I feel like, okay, I gotta back away from the music a little bit. Which is a hard thing to do, guys. That was extremely hard for me, yo. I remember, I never forget, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Do I want a relationship or do I want a relationship, period, with anybody? Do I want a relationship with music? Do I want a relationship with an actual person? I remember I was telling her that we broke up like so many times because of this. I wanted to be free. Like I wanted to go still do like drumming and music and go to different places. I still want to do that. But it was very impossible for me to do that and still have a relationship and still be considered somebody's mate. I never forget we were sitting in McDonald's on Pickens Avenue, right? This is y'all gonna.
Wait, you said McDonald's on Pickens Ave? I know that.
I know it all too well. Yeah.
McDonald's sitting on Pickens Avenue, and I remember we sitting out eating, and she gave me an ultimatum, and I cried. The reason why I cried because I was like, I really wanted her to be a part of my life, but I really wanted music to be a part of my life too. So I didn't know what to do. I was at a crossroads. I didn't know what to do, so I cried. And she didn't care. She didn't care about none of this. She didn't care about my tears, none of that. At least for me, it was like, I mean, at least show me some kind of remorse. But you didn't.
Nah.
You wanted what you wanted. You wanted what you wanted. So that passed, and then like I think I decided to like at least take a break to at least try to figure out what's going on with me, what do I truly want. And I'm glad I chose the latter because I don't feel like I'm washed up in the area. I feel like I get just begun. Like she has given me way more to clean myself up than to be washed up.
See, I like how you did that. That's what I'm talking about.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
she never put me in a place to put your act together. You know what I mean? Right. And I don't really know. I mean, and then vice versa. I mean, vice versa is areas that like I helped her with that because I always consider myself and her like yin and yang. We two different opposites. We totally two different people, and the way she thinks and the way I think is like two different things. It's like, oh my God, sometimes we bump heads because we are so different, and I believe that's what works for us. And then learning how to like, I'm just the guy, just that person. Whereas, like, no, that's not right. And she'll like, no, she'll be the bendable person. I'll be like, no, I'll stand tall and stand firm. So,
I mean,
so yeah.
Okay, Aisha.
Thanks, 12. I appreciate that.
Whoa. What was all that for? Why
no, it was Women Appreciation Month just passed, and you over here talking about I'm politely ask my lady coworkers if they wanna, ask a question and throw them under the bus. Where was all that appreciation, respect, and march? But anyway.
First of all,
I'm not even going back here with you.
I'm evolving, okay? You gotta be patient with me. You gotta be patient.
Okay. So I have a question, Rob. So how did you know, like, aside from like, the Pickens Ave, just knowing like who you wanted and where you wanted to be, like, that's the relationship part. But how did you know, like, you wanted to be with your wife? Like, why did you like want to be married? Like, how did you know marriage was the thing for you guys?
Okay. We lived together. How did I know? Was when it's a two-part. I knew that I wanted to be in her life long term when every time we would break up, my world wouldn't be right. Like I would try to do certain things, like even like talking to like entertaining other females, it wouldn't be right. Even me trying to do music, and it's like she's always here. So God thought I can't focus on nothing. like what's going on with you? Like, I can't do nothing. And then when we finally got to that place again, I was able to blossom. I was able to do certain things. I was like, all right, this clearly, I can't get around this. The second part of that is that we lived together before we got married. I got engaged to her. We moved here back in 2015, I believe. 2014, I proposed to her. We got married 2015. So we was already living together. At that moment, before we got engaged, we was already sharing bills, we was already sharing money. And at the time, we was in between churches because we just moved to a new city. We fell in love with this church, and he happens to be a marriage. His ministry started on marriage, so it happened to like be he was our coach. And the minute he asked us, I don't understand why y'all not married. Y'all doing everything. Y'all having sex, of course. Y'all sharing bills. Y'all sharing light bills. Y'all sharing everything. You're sharing food. Sharing everything. Why y'all not married? That's when I know. I say, okay. We got married within that same year.
Oh wow. Okay. So I have a question. Like, being with that said, was there any pressure at all? I know you said she wanted you to do an ultimatum, but living with her and like you said, sharing lives together, was there any pressure, or like did you feel like, okay, we need to tie the knot, or how was her reaction?
I think she wanted to wait for the marriage part. I wanted to be I wanted to get married. I think it was just only right for me to do that because we was taking that road. I already done proposed to her. But to happen so quickly, she didn't want the marriage so quickly. She wanted to wait, plan. You know how women do. Wait, plan, and get this.
Wait.
Rob, be careful. Be careful with these two.
I'm still a
these Zoom fingers work. Okay.
I'm
still a man. I'm still a man.
You can go on mute. You can go on mute.
Be careful, Rob. They from Brownsville.
I am too, son.
Yeah.
I know that, so you should really know that you should be careful.
We just playing, Rob, but we do understand the planning can be for both genders. So don't say it's just always a woman thing. But I get it.
No, but that's interesting because usually it's interesting that you say that because usually it's the other side, right? Where the woman is asking like, "Yo, like, what we doing? Yeah. Like, what's going on?" So, right, she looking at the finger like. So that's interesting. But do you ever? Because there's a lot of situations that start like that and continue that way, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's we move in together, we share each other's lives, we do everything under the sun, and then it's like, okay, this is the peak. It's not going to elevate past here. So was that ever a thought process in your mind as well? Like where it's like, hey, we already are in a marriage, technically in a way, as far as living together. But did you feel like, nah, I need to secure the bag. Like I need to secure the bag.
Being engaged, being living together, living the married life is not technically married. Right. When in the eyesight of God, when you get married, you're one, right? In the eyesight of God. I'm a strong believer of marriage, right? Now. So when you're looking at when you're looking at that, it's like I never was in a position where it's like if I wanted I'm not marrying you, like what's the sense of that's only a piece of paper, but that piece of paper means a lot. It means a lot when the terms are like God forbid something would happen and we living together and things of that nature, and I can't help you out financially. You can't help me out financially. If one of us pass, I mean, nothing is in nobody's name. You can't really get nothing. I can't really get nothing. We can't really do nothing because we don't have that piece of paper. Piece of paper means a lot. especially when you're dealing with something that's long term. I mean, and you have to look at it in a way where if you can't live without this person, you can't see yourself without me. Like my pastor said, I don't see why you're not married, especially if you guys been together. We've been together for 10 years before we got married. Well, we've been together, I'm not sure how long, but we've been together for 10 years, got married. We've been together for 10 years, but got married 5 years. We've been married for 5. And there's just certain benefits that you can't get from the kingdom of God if you're not married. The Bible says that if a man finds a wife, finds a great thing. You can't obtain favor unless you get married. I'm blessed because of that. I told my wife she has a degree on the wall. It's like in business of administration. I'm in business. I'm trying to be the entrepreneur. She got stuff that I don't have. Okay, let's get this bag, honey. You understand what I'm saying? That's a benefit. That's a blessing. So that's one of the benefits. I mean, favor. Like I don't know what God has for her. I don't know what plan what plan that God has for her personally while she was little, before she was mentioned, before she was born. I mean, and to be tapped into that, it's awesome.
That's beautiful. So you guys got some years, as far as being together. So y'all dated for a while. You guys knew each other, so y'all go way back. So y'all have great history with each other. Yeah. So, what do you guys, as far as like people like me that's unmarried, like you kind of touched on it as far as having favor and, having somebody to come into your life that add value to give you things that you don't. What do you think discourages men from, taking that step? What is the fear about? Like, why don't we feel like we should lock in? Or even for women, why is there such a fear within our community?
I think for me, is that my perspective is that, and this thing goes for me, but that the fear is that you don't see it. You will see Jay-Z, Beyonce, you will see all these power couples that's in the limelight and that's doing great. You never see people that grew up like us. I mean, that's doing it, that's really doing it. Only one person I know, y'all both probably know, Desmond Crawley.
Yes, I know. Yes.
That's a pastor, has a set of twins, and he lives out in Virginia. Other than that, other people that I know, like you have other, of course, I'm talking about that's biblically trying to do the marriage thing, right? But other than that, it's the image. You don't see it done. Your mother and father not married. You haven't been married. Your grandparents haven't been married. Your sister haven't been married. Your brother haven't been married. Your uncles haven't been married. Your aunties haven't been married. I mean, you don't see that image. You know what I mean? And so it's very hard for you to say, you know what? How can I do this? How can I do this? It's impossible for me to do this if I would have no blueprint in front of
me. I never thought of it like that, because I always saw it like having children is a big commitment. So the fact that you're gonna have to, like, those vows you commit to your wife are different, but like you're taking care of somebody else. So I feel like being committed to somebody in a marriage, I felt like it was like the same thing. Like why it was so easy for people to have kids, but not easy to just like get married and say like I do. Like what was that?
So. Because it's easy to be a mom but not a mother. It's easy to be a dad but not a father. Or vice versa. It's easy to be a father, not a dad. It's easy to be a mother, not a mom. It's easier to be boyfriend, girlfriend, not married.
Yeah. And y'all both touched on it. It's like we take shortcuts in a sense, right? Like it's like, so here's a little shortcut where I can still get the best of both worlds, where it's like, yeah, I can have somebody in my life, I can have children, et cetera, et cetera. But hey, this part is missing, or last name in that element is missing. And that's really a problem within our community, because, we are mating, we are getting together. but we're not securing the bag, and we're not setting up futures for our children and things of that nature. So that's why that is important. You know, just, you know, observing my family that is married, relatives that are married with kids versus the ones that aren't, two totally different outcomes.
Yeah.
As far as economics, is lifestyle, health, the kids' future is two totally different things. So we have to get to a place where we can get back to where we were married at an 80% clip. You know what I'm saying? Back way back at one particular time. You know, and I also wanted to ask you as well, because you know, another element too that you guys didn't touch on, I want you to go into this, is the divorce element, right? The fear of if it doesn't work. So it's like, I don't want to go through the divorce, right? So how do you process that, and what do you think about divorce, and how do you how do you not get to a place of divorce within your marriage?
I'm gonna be boastful a little bit, right? My last name, I consider my last name to be a brand name, right? I'm not for sure if anybody saw American Gangster with Denzel Washington, right? This is my favorite line out of all what he said. He said, Blue Magic is a brand name. We stand behind it. We guarantee it. Almost as if you don't know the name of General Mills, you know the chairman of General Mills, you know who General Mills is.
Yeah.
The McCall is a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
It's literally behind you too, right?
Yeah. So that's my motto. That's my interest. So anything that happens, it's our umbrella. So divorce is not an option for me. I can't see myself. And then that speaks volume to me, because I never did something that I quitted on, even with my music. So marriage for me is like, okay, I got to conquer everything that's possible, and I have to, because even while in my marriage, I still had struggles, still had demons that would follow me. And not necessarily like spiritual demons, but things that I had attached because of my bloodline. I said I had to get rid of those things. So I still, while in my marriage, even while in when my baby was born, I still was struggling with certain areas, things of nature. But I vowed to myself, as long as I have a strong relationship with God, I can have a strong relationship with my wife. So that's why I don't. That's why I don't. In my perspective, that's why I see that divorce can happen for us, because the Bible says love your wife as Christ loved the church, right? My relationship with God is parallel to my relationship with God. How I treat God is how I treat my wife. How I treat my wife is how I treat God. God would never divorce me, so why would I divorce my wife?
All right.
So that's the way I look at it.
Where do I pay my tithes at? Where I send my offering? Where I send my offering at?
I mean, you make up a good point, because I am a person who's divorced. Not that I chose to be divorced, but my spouse had chose to divorce and leave. And sometimes I never question, sometimes I question why do men, or just, I'm gonna quit, like I'm just gonna up and leave, and to me that was just always a sign of weakness, or just a sign of, I don't know, like commitment. And it's like, why make that vow and why choose to make it? So but I also ask questions about men, like why can they keep that commitment? Like why is it so hard for them to do something that they rather choose the easy way out, which is, oh, I'm just going to divorce and I'm just going to leave, rather than fight for that relationship? Like, why do you think it's really hard for them to work through that? And to, like, let's say if there's a problem in the marriage, like why do you think they don't go after fixing the marriage or resolving it? Like, why is the first thing that they go to? I'm not gonna say men in general, because I know men and women, but in my case, why do you think that men, would choose to just divorce first rather than
can I touch on that?
for them?
I'm not married, but Rob, I'm with you as far as that's not an option. That's non-negotiable. When we lock in, we lock in. Like, I take that very seriously as far as to death do us part. If I ain't dying around here, you ain't dying, then look, we're gonna have to figure this out. So I feel like people don't look at it like that, right? Like, men or women just look at it as, and let's be honest, some people don't really think about the real working of a marriage. Some people want the wedding. Let's just be real. Some people are more excited about the wedding and the idea of it. But actually being with this person and really sharing your life with them and putting them first, and that's, some people aren't there. So it becomes a selfish thing where when you remove your one and you make it you, so it's no longer a one. So when you do that, that's when you get to a place where if you have a problem, you have turmoil, you'll just turn the other way and say, I'm not going to deal with this. But if you really truly committed for real, and like me, I don't like taking losses. You feel what I'm saying? I take breakups hard. I take losses hard. Like, so for me, I would rather us really fight to the death to figure out how can we solve our issue. So I agree with what you're saying as far as like not, that should not be the first thing. Soon as y'all have some trouble, the first thing should be, okay, what counselor can we go to? Let's start praying. Let's get therapists. Let's get whatever's going on fixed first. Divorce should not even be a part of the conversation, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, I agree. And Jazz, to like really get in depth to what you were saying, is that I think, like Trump said, is that you will have to have counsel, right? Counsel is big because you have to have somebody that counsel that does not favor one to another. You got to see, you guys got to see the situation, got to see what the problem is, got to see the marriage and what it is, and fix that, regardless if it's you, Jazz, regardless if it's him. So you always have to have counsel. Even myself, like the reason why that me and my wife is on a great path because we get wise counsel. There's some things that I would think about, or I will react to certain things and say, no, that's not what we do, Rob. In a marriage, man, no, we got to work through that. No, that's not, you can't do that. And the second thing is communication. Communication is key, right, in marriages. So if you don't communicate, not talking about, babe, why you wash the dishes? No, I'm talking about the hard stuff. Like everything, sex life, money, everything. You have to be very
transparent, because
correct when it comes to that.
In your relationship, that's how things could crumble, and then you start to feel things and see things, and just not being open about really where you're at. And the time that you get to that place, it's like boom, 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 out of control, and it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta leave because this is happening.
Yeah, so it's counsel. You have to have counsel. You have to have communication. And then too, it's like, you cannot put your spouse, you cannot put each other in a box. I always say that how we grow, our marriage is going to grow. I may think about, like, this pandemic had me thinking totally differently. And then each of us go through our individual things in life, and it shapes us. So I'm going to be forever knowing my wife. That's going to be a forever cycle until the day I die. Because we're always going to be in the stage where we're mature. I'm not for sure how she's going to be when she's 45 years old. Hopefully still pretty the way she is.
You're smart, man. You're a very smart man.
But that's the thing. It's like I'm going to be forever knowing. So in just allowing the maturity and allowing your marriage to grow and mature to a point where, okay, like right now, she's a totally different wife now because she's a mother. She's a mom. She's totally different. Like, I don't get no attention. I mean, I get attention. I ain't saying I don't get attention. I'm saying, like, listen, we gotta pay attention tonight. The baby be in our bedroom, so it's like, oh.
And that's probably those conversations that you're saying that has to be had, so that way it's
So it's about addressing, even though it's not big. It's not big to me. It's just like, okay, this is on my heart. All right, listen, we promise ourselves to do date nights every now and then because we don't have no family here. It's just only us. So having a babysitter, like she go to daycare, but having a babysitter is so far in between because we both overprotective. Okay. So our date nights go slim to none sometimes. But we find times and like moments where Vonnie sleep, say, hey, listen, let's just watch a movie together. I mean, let's just chill. Let's listen to some music. Do something. I mean, just to keep that connection.
That's dope. So, you guys got any other questions y'all want to ask?
Thanks, 12. So, what I want to know, you did. You can still go, Jazz. I'm just gonna be quick because what I appreciate that Rob said was the maturity part. I respect that a lot. I think when it comes to marriage, it's very important because marriage is not for the weak and for the immature, and it's very selfless. So I think another part with divorce comes with people thinking like marriage is about me. Oh no, beloved, it's a we thing. Like. Turn that me upside down. It's a we. Thank you. So I think that was very important. And even the fact that you even talked about parenting, like that's another stage in your marriage because now you have an addition to your family. So just seeing that stage of a wife and a mom and like a dad to like, like a husband to like a father, it's like, so when that happens and like you making like date night and things like that, and you're like attention shifts. Do you think your wife feels the same way? Like, Dad, I want attention from my husband too, but we got to watch the kids. Like, how do you guys balance parenting and being a spouse?
I have an individual life outside of my wife and kids. Which meaning I'm still involved with music. So most of my nights, they'll be asleep and I'll be up. Just music. When it comes to us, we both desire the same thing. Like there'll be times where we just be on a Saturday morning and baby's still asleep. We in our bed still and we watching a movie. All of a sudden you hear footsteps knocking on the door. God, this is supposed to be our time. Like what happened? So we both desire the same exact thing. How we get and how we manage it is different. Right now, my daughter is so attached to my wife, like her mom. I barely see her. You see, she never came to this camera yet. And she loves the camera. She's in the back with her mom. So, and then most times it's just the way it is. And then we have our time with the baby sleep. When she's at daycare, it's something totally different. When she's at daycare, I'm at work. My wife works from home, so the house be quiet. She be by herself. Like we will have like the baby's godparents. They watch her sometimes, but most time, majority, it's us. And then it's like we got to the point where we don't mind Zombie around us. That's our daughter. So if we're gonna watch a movie, she's gonna cry, of course, because she wanna watch what she wanna watch. If she wanna do what she wanna do, she wanna cry, get our attention. And it's like, but it's been okay. It has not been as best as how we wanted and desired, but I think it's getting there.
Okay, so work in progress. So you guys, so that keeps y'all busy figuring out how y'all gonna get y'all time.
Yep.
So that
Yep.
keeps y'all busy and keeps things spicy.
Yeah.
So you know, you dropped a lot of wisdom, and we appreciate, you know, everything that you've came with, and thank you for being a part of our conversation.
Wait, did Jazz, you had a question, right? Or no?
I did, but it's okay. We're
Oh no, actually, I don't know. I'm sorry. Ask your question, guys.
No, it's okay. A lot was said, so it was good.
I have one more question, and if Jazz ain't gonna answer hers, ask hers.
Okay. Go ahead. Take Jazz's question, Aisha. Go for it.
Quick question. So what do you like now that you're a father, right? I know we spoke a lot about marriage, but as a dad, what is something that you hope for your daughter or your future children to come?
I would desire for her to get the best of both worlds. My wife, she can kill me, but she's a nerd, right? She's a nerd. And
She's very smart and intelligent.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. That's the word I'm looking for. But and then
I'm gonna just take that part out the video. I don't think that's a good look. Just take that part.
But for me, it's like I'm the creative being. Like I'm the creative guy. Like I enjoy the outdoors. My wife, she's enjoyed the indoors. Like she's coming out her shell a lot because she has a child. But it's just like the best of both worlds, to her showing her creative side and her showing her smart side as well, and making that intertwined to be the best person that you can be. She's leaning towards, like, she speaks and carrying on, she talks and carrying on in her own way, but she's really gravitating towards like music. Like I be having her sit at my desk with me, and she be trying to pop the keys like me, and it's just so emotional to see that. I mean, to see an extension of me, and it's like, wow, it's just amazing.
That's dope.
And sometimes I get like very like I get emotional when I be seeing her. And it's just, I got videos and clips on my YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, on my Instagram, and she just rocking to the music. And it's
That's
like,
dope.
she know I sampled Adele, one of Adele's songs, and she knows the original song now because I play it a lot. I mean, so so it's just that creative side of her, and my wife's side, her smart side, her intelligent side, the book smart, the nerdy side, I should say.
So she growing up in a household with intelligence and artistic expression. So that's a beautiful thing. So that is going to be the best of both worlds, because you know, the wife could teach her like the intellectual part, the book smart, and you could teach her the art. So that's a great thing. So she can be well cultured. So I know I don't want to keep you all day. You know, we want to be respectful for your time. We already had you for an hour. So cool. And I know you got to get back to the wife. So I enjoy it. So wife and the kids, we appreciate you for coming on. One thing that you did touch on, that you said counsel, right? We need more people like you to give us like hope out here, give us examples to follow in these discussions, because like you said, when we don't have people that we can see that look like us, that's actually doing it, and they can show us the pros and the cons and show us how to overcome, it's going to be challenging for us to believe it in our mind, right? So it's a great thing that you are giving us wisdom and giving us time to understand the process of how to get in a marriage. And, you know, like you said, have that last name. That was epic. I like how you put that. You know what I'm saying? That was epic. So we appreciate you for taking the time to visit us. And we wish you and the wife and the kids all the best. And I say kids because, you know, you know what I'm saying? Speaking that
we shoot for two.
Okay.
We shoot for two.
Listen.
We shoot for two. I think that Bonnie's going to grow up. My daughter is, I don't want her to be selfish. I mean, everything is my mind. It's not my desire to have two. I love to have two. Let's see what happens.
See what happens.
Listen, my son is 6 now, and he's all alone. He doesn't have no one to play with. So yeah, right. I'm my husband. I want to get married within 2 years. Within 2 years to have my baby. So
let's do it.
Pray for us.
Absolutely, Jazz. I am most definitely.
All right. So thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you guys feel about marriage. Meet us in the comment section.
Yeah,
and we
please.
will see you in the next video. All right.
Absolutely.